talking about the things that need to be talked about. People take time out of their lives, whatever they're doing, wherever they are, to talk about it. And that's a huge first step. Now, the thing that society has to cope with is the changing times and keeping up with it. And I think the young generation is ready for the transformation. They're leading they're crying for the transformation. We're the ones that are dragging our feet. We're slowing it up. We're interrupting the process. We're delaying the process. So I think down the road, the catching up will occur, but the young generation, I think, and I refer to Daryl Belfry, the student is the teacher. We have to learn from our kids, understand they're going to be our generation someday, and how are they going to lead and influence themselves and their children that they're going to raise. So I think when you said, what can we do? Well, we're doing what we do. This is exactly what we're trying to do. And trying to influence change in a roundabout, indirect way, but it's just sort of a sense of purpose for me anyway to talk about it. And when I had my heart attack and nearly died, I think my perspective was really reestablished about appreciating every minute that you have. And more so the perspective of what we're talking about and how important it is for everyone, how unhappy people are, distraught they are, disturbed they are. And it doesn't need to be that way. And I really believe sport is an outstanding vehicle for an escape and yet an engagement in the moment, of enjoying the moment. And if any of you haven't read Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now, I know after my heart attack, I read it a second and a third time because of my memory loss. But it's all about being in the moment. And he has short tidbits, edits on YouTube of his conversation, and he talks about watching tennis and being in the moment and what's occurring in terms of the impact and the serve, he just talks about it in a philosophical way, which is being in the moment. And no, I'm really glad you're on today, Joanne, but I see TT, Tim Taylor, and I'm really curious, Tim, you're sitting in the background, and I'm wondering what you might have taken away from all of this.
Oh, I guess I have several thoughts going through my mind. One, most recently, Wally, not to get off the subject and into the weeds here, but I also had a heart attack. Mine was back in 2004, but mine wasn't quite as at the emergent level that I understand yours was. Yeah, so thinking about everybody's been talking about, as a tier 2 youth hockey coach, I guess the word that I had or the thought that was in my mind previously was balance, but then Joni said it wasn't about balance, and but I think from the youth standpoint, one thing that I see is parents being all in on in youth sports. It's not unique to hockey, but like Bob, I'm a little more mature. Well, all of us on the group are. I grew up in a time where work was the work ethic was just numero uno, but we had you had relationships with other people in the community, and whether it was church or work or civic organizations, and it feels to me like that's missing a lot today. And so the need to have connections and relationships with other people, it seems like when you parents of youth players maybe they're all in on that youth sports environment because they don't have those other relationships and connections that used to be prevalent in the community. Um, and so it becomes more of a do or die kind of thing. So that's where I come back to balance, at least at the youth level. Um, anyway, those were just a couple of thoughts that were rolling through my head.
Clearing baseball, that is Colorado police telling parents time to grow up.
Both coaches and parents from both teams begin to confront each other in front of a dugout. Shoving match ensues, and not far after that, fights start breaking out.
What caused fists to fly at this children's baseball game? That's coming up.